officially established June 14th as Flag Day. And I gotta say, June 14th was yesterday. I do know that was Flag Day. But because this is not a national holiday, this is a holiday but not national, which means a lot of people have to work, so they can't get the education we'd like to put out there. That's why we asked to put it on a weekend. So those that are off work, they can come out here and get a little bit of education what we're doing. That's why we do it on, we call it National Flag Day Weekend Ceremony. That's why we call it that way. On August 19, 1946, National Flag Day was established by Act of Congress. Flag Day is not an official federal holiday. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself because I wrote it down here and I'm going to make sure that I said it the way I said it 15 times before, but I'll keep going on anyway. As a veteran born in a large family of veterans, I was taught the importance of the American flag. I was taught the importance of the American flag by a Navy man. That was my father. My father used to fly the flag out front every day my whole life. When I was a kid, it wasn't him that went and raised the flag or lowered it. He had me go out to raise the flag and lower it. I was the oldest of 7 kids, so he expected a lot from me to do that. I took the acceptance of the role. I appreciated the role of doing this for my father. I love my father. My brother ended up joining the United States Marine Corps, and I ended up joining the Coast Guard. My cousin joined the Air Force, the other one joined the Army. We got all 5 branches that were covered right away, right when we got of age to do so. My father, as I said, was a U.S. Navy veteran who'd flown the flag in the yard every day until life. But a week before his passing, the U.S. Army veteran, Frank Kerr, who's with us here today. Frank, where are you at? Right here. Okay, Frank's right over here. Frank has started this a long time ago with the Scouts. And this is basically his baby. And I appreciate it very much when he asked me to come. And that was back in 2016. We did this whole ceremony over at Fred Coyle Park until this beautiful flag was made and put up, and then we decided to do it right here. It makes sense. We're talking about National Flag Day. Behind us is a big flag that represents the same thing. On the morning of National Flag Day, June 14, 2016, I received a phone call from my sister. She told me that our dad just passed away. After the call, I was not going to attend the ceremony. My thoughts were on my dad, and I knew that my heart, he would still wanted me to do this U.S. flag retirement ceremony. But for the first few hours that morning, I was just busy making flight arrangements, talking to my family about the services and the needs to be done when I get home from my father's funeral. Later that afternoon, I put on my uniform and I met with Frank Kerr at the ceremony. I was so impressed watching the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the Scout leaders prepare all the torn, worn, and tattered flags to be properly retired. The Collier County community brought in hundreds of flags that needed to be retired. The Naples firefighters were getting the drums posted to do the ceremony burn of the flags. EMTs were also there in case any services were needed. Park rangers opened the museum doors. So educational stories of the veterans in attendance would have the area to speak in lessons to the Scouts. In 2016, there have been many newspaper and news reports on people who are disrespecting the U.S. American flag in many ways. To name a few, not to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of the country that provides the freedoms. To throw it on the ground disrespectfully, to walk all over the flag during the negative protest demonstrations. On June 14, 2016, what I saw was a great respect for the national symbol of freedom and the American flag for the men and women and children. So I went to the table where the flags were being prepared to a proper retirement, and I folded the flag, marched to the burn drum, handed the flag to the fireman, and gave him my final salute and made a statement. James C. Davis, my dad, I am retiring the flag in your honor. At that moment, it felt great relief. I felt a great relief as if my dad's hand was on my shoulder that day. Now I watch the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts march with Frank Kerr to wait for their time. And I say Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, just so everybody knows, the Scouts have been named Scouts now because the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts are all intertwined, so it's called Scouts. But I'm just calling it the way it was back in 2016, all right? When it was over, I approached Sergeant Kerr and told him I promised that every year the Collier County Veterans Council will be there to support the ceremony. And we will make it an event for the Scouts to go and public to get the history lessons about the flag. I will ask the military men and women to be a guest speaker who served this country, tell what his or her feelings are about the American flag. and that has fought to keep this country free. I would also ask the Marine Corps League to teach the citizens to come to the ceremony how a flag folding ceremony is conducted for family members and veterans who have passed away. I would also ask the local sheriff's office to have an honor guard to help conduct the training lessons to younger kids in attendance to give our citizens understanding. And you do not have to serve in the military to be the only group that respects the U.S. flag and its meaning. The reason we celebrate the flag is because it's the day that marks the adoption of the flag of the United States. It happened on June 14th, 1777 by resolution of the Second Continental Congress. Flag Day is also a special day for the United States Army because we celebrate their birthday on the 14th. Although the flag is nationwide in observance, not a public holiday, as I said before, in parts of the United States, it's a legal holiday in a few areas in the USA, such as the county in Pennsylvania. I have a lot of good free people here. Everybody out here is very important to me. So I don't have a VIP group because everybody's VIP. If you want to come and learn a little bit about the American flag and you want to take your time, your day off on a Saturday to come out here to learn a little bit more, to get intermixed with our scouts, to learn what the cadets do, the JRTC members do, what the sheriff's office do, I welcome everybody here. And the greatest thing about it is we get a good attendance of the people that do come out here, that do respect this symbol. The symbol means a lot to me, as I told you before, what I used to go through as a kid growing up with a father who so loved this flag. He spent 2 tours in Vietnam, and he still came back with the love for the American flag. And I was very honored to be his son. So with that, I said, Dad, I'm still here doing it for you, and I'm still going to be doing it till the day I probably pass away. I'll fly that flag every day. I'll put it out there every day. I'll raise it. I'll lower it. I'll make sure that it gets seen, because I'm not shy, and I never have been a shy guy. I guess that's why I became a non-commissioned officer in charge of 2 Army battalions while I was in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've never been shy. People hear me all the time. They think I'm angry. They think I'm mad. I'm not mad. It's just the way I talk, people. I just like people, and I get really loud when I do that, all right? So with that being said, what we're going to start today is we get this show started. I want to do a proclamation on Flag Day reading from a very important representative, Bob Rummel, the State House District 106. Bob, if you can come up and give us a proclamation, please.
Chief Carl, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for your service. Before I read the proclamation from President Trump, I just want to tell everybody what the flag means to me. Every time I look at the flag, I get a tear in my eye, a feeling in my heart, and I know how lucky I am to be born in America and to live in America. You know, our country's 243 years old, and we are truly the freest nation in the world. We're the most prosperous nation in the world. We're the most generous nation in the world. When the world is in trouble, they come to the United States, whether it's to protect them or provide for them. If you look around the world, whether it's Central America, South America, Africa, Middle East, 4 countries in Asia, it's the United States that helps them. And if it wasn't for the men and women that I'm looking at now, or the men and women that have spilled their blood for the last 243 years, the world will not be the same. I get so angry when I listen to the media today about how bad our country is. And just imagine, you know, the world, what it would be if the United States was never here. Just imagine what the world would be like if we didn't enter World War II and basically save the world from tyranny. I even imagine, you know, our founding fathers, if they didn't want to escape tyranny, you know, 245 years ago and come to the United States and find freedom, what the world would be. You know, especially for all the young people here, you know, don't believe the press. We are truly the greatest nation in the world, and it's because of men like Chief Carl and Captain Wayne Smith and everybody else that wears the flag. And I want to thank you all for what you've done. Thank you. On Flag Day and during the National Flag Week, we celebrate and honor our nation's lasting emblem of great American flag. Since the Second Continental Congress adopted its design more than 200 years ago, The stars and stripes have been a powerful symbol of freedom, hope, and opportunity. We fly Old Glory from government buildings, schools, city halls, police and fire stations, stores, offices, and our front porches. Wherever Americans are gathered, sporting events, places of worship, parades, and rallies, our flags wave proudly, representing the enduring spirit of the country. The American flag helps us never forget the values of our republic and the valor of the men and women in uniform who have defended it. When we look at the red, white, and blue, we are filled with the same spirit and patriotism that stirred Francis Scott Keyes at Fort McHenry in 1812. We are reminded that the blood spilled across generations to safeguard liberty. We are prompted to reflect with pride on the purity and righteousness of our cause, the same pride that swelled in the hearts of the boys that took the beaches of Normandy, and as they raised the flag of Iwo Jima. We are strengthened in our resolve to pursue justice and safeguard the rule of law so that freedom can march on. Today and all throughout this week, let us recommit ourselves to the principles upon which our country was founded. With grateful hearts, let us reflect upon the price of freedom and the brave souls who gave their last fulfilling measure to preserve it. We raise our flags as we stand and salute our place, our hands on our hearts, and let us renew the sacred pledge that we will remain one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. To commemorate the adoption of our flag, the Congress, by joint resolution, approved August 3rd, 1949, designated June 14th each year as Flag Day, and requested the President to issue an annual proclamation calling for its observance and for the display of the flag of the United States in all federal buildings. The Congress also requested, by joint resolution, approved June 9th, 1966, that the President issue an annual proclamation designating the week of June 4th occur as National Flag Week, and upon calling all citizens of the United States to display the flag. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, do hereby proclaim June 14, 2019 as Flag Day, and the week starting June 9th as National Flag Week. I direct the appropriate officials to display the flag in all government buildings during the week. I urge all Americans to observe Flag Day and National Flag Week by displaying the flag. I also encourage the people in the United States to stand and observe the pride, all due ceremonies of Flag Day throughout Independence Day, set aside by Congress. At this time, honor America, to celebrate its heritage, to public gathering activities, and to publicly recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. Donald J. Trump. God bless you all, and God bless this great country.
Is Pastor Jim Knight here? If we get asked Pastor Jim Knight, go ahead and lead us in an invocation. Please stand.
Psalm 145:18, the Lord is near to all who call on him, in truth. Would you pray with me? Father, I do thank you for our nation. I thank you for the incredible gift that you have given us in this country. I thank you for the freedom that we have. I thank you for the sacrifice of so many over the years in order to give us this freedom. I pray for our president. I thank you for him. I'd ask that he would seek you, give him a heart to seek you. I commit him to you. I thank you for all in leadership positions. Again, I would ask that they would seek you. Father, I would ask that in our churches, in our community, that your word would be taught clearly, that it would go out clearly. I'd ask that as a nation we would have a heart to seek you. I want to pray for the most vulnerable in our culture. I pray for the unborn. I'd ask that the killing of the unborn would come to an end, that you would protect them. And again, Father, we're grateful. I thank you for our country. I thank you for the people here, for their hearts. Again, give us as a nation a heart to turn to you, to take hold of you. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
At this time, presentation of the color in honor with the guard of the Collier County Sheriff's Office, Color Guard.
Honor Guard, attention! Carry color! Forward, up! Attention! Halt!
If I can now ask the Boy Scouts to come on up. If one of the Boy Scouts will please come to the podium to say the national anthem, please. Oh, the other Boy Scouts, our Scout members, excuse me. Scout members, come on right up here. Every Scout member that we have, please come on right here with all your friends. Which one would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance? Please come on up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
For the national anthem, USA Freedom Kids, Alexis 12, Bria 14, and Shaylin, I hope I said it right, 12. If you could come up.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose stripes and bright stars through the perilous heights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rocked down from the first fading air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say our flag star-spangled
Colors right! Huh!
State the Sheriff's Office, Boy Scouts, and the beautiful Freedom Kids. Everybody go ahead and have a seat. If I could call Captain Troy Searles of the U.S. Army veteran to read the meaning of the MIA table, please.
Good morning. I want to thank you for allowing me to take part in this celebration with y'all today on such a special day. Now, to those that have served and those currently serving the Marine Corps, are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, that there are others who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. Before we begin our activities, we will pause to recognize our POWs and MIAs. We call to your attention to to this small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor near the head table. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our Corps are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and families tonight, so we join together to pay our humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. This table, set for one, is small, symbolizing the fraternity of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose in the vase signifies the blood they may have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon on the vase represents the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us today. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors to the open arms of a grateful nation. Let us praise the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families.
We're going to have, at this time, we're going to have American flag special readings. We have a very special, very important person with us today, and that's Captain Wayne Smith, U.S. Air Force. He's a veteran and a Vietnam POW. He has some kind words that he'd like to say about the American flag and his feelings. If you can, please come on up here, Wayne. And please give him a warm welcome.
Oh, it's a great delight to be here. I was very fortunate to be here the first time this thing was dedicated, and they asked me to come by and say a few words. So it's really a wonderful experience to be able to do it again. I'm going to relay a bit of a story about the American flag when I was interned as a prisoner of war for 5 years and 2 months. I was not the first guy shot down. Go back, I was shot down in 68, repatriated in 73. A Navy aviator, Ev Alvarez, by the way, was shot down in August of 64 and spent almost 9 years as a prisoner of war, most of that in solitary confinement. So I'm very, very lucky in that regard to not have spent as much of that torture, difficult times as many. But I'm going to talk about the American flag and how it symbolizes the hope and inspiration, and it's the essence of everything in America. Now, there's a story that I want to tell that epitomizes the emotion and pride that every American feels for the flag and really underscores our pledge. Again, in the Vietnam War, in 1971, we were all in isolation, but because of the Son Tay raid to try to get some POWs out of that camp, there were about 50 POWs there, and it was far south of Hanoi, and they thought they could come in and raid it and get the POWs out. Somehow, due to lack of secrecy, there were no POWs there. They went in, knocked off all the locks, not a soul there. They climbed back on the airplanes, their helicopters ready, and then moved out. And thankfully, no one was really hurt during that escape attempt. But as a result of that, they moved all POWs into Hanoi from all our outlying camps and put us into a place we call the plantation. And we were in a large cell. Now that was really great, having been in months and months of solitary confinement. They put us in cells that had about 40 to 50 prisoners of war in them. We called it the plantation. Of course, we were euphoric, if you can imagine, to be able to see each other, talk to each other. And so it was just a great experience for us. And one of the things we were able to do, though, was one guy who's wonderful. He was Mike Christian was his name. What a great name for a POW, Mike Christian. He prayed every day. He loved his flag. And he took out of his shirt, we had these pajamas, these blue pants, and we had a white t-shirt and then a red and gray striped thing to cover it. And so he took the cloth and fashioned an American flag when we were together. And what he did with that flag was we would always stand up. I was not in that same room, by the way. This is a story that was passed to me. But they would stand up and say the American Pledge of Allegiance every single day. Every single day. He wouldn't miss it. Well, one day, when they were doing that, they took him out and they found his little needle that he fabricated out of a piece of bamboo, by the way, to fabricate this flag. They found it, took him out, and beat him just unmercifully. Unmercifully. He was so beaten that he was swollen and beaten and broken. He couldn't walk. So they put him back in a cell. You know how long it took him before he fabricated another flag? 10 days. In 10 days, he was back in business. Back in business, selling that flag in that room. And we tried to protect him, but it was pretty amazing to think that guy could go so far. And you know, he was not making that flag mainly, you know, because he made him feel better and he wanted to be some kind of hero or something. He really was making that because he knew how important it was for all of us, his fellow prisoners, to be able to give that Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and to our country. And for him, it wasn't, like I say, to be a hero. It was because he thought it was the right thing to do. It would keep us together and make sure that we understood why we were there. And we were going to do everything we could to come out in what we called return with honor. To return with honor. That was our beck and call. There were a few POWs, by the way, you probably heard about, that took early release. That shocked us. 3 guys were just let go. And then they took about another month or so, they took another. And all of a sudden, our senior ranking officer passed the word down to the boss and said, we are not going to do that. First in, first out. First in, first out. That was our honor code. And that's why we did it. Except for one guy who came out. He was a 19-year-old seaman, and he was ordered to go. Doug Hegman. Fell off the destroyer. Said he wasn't captured. He was rescued. But Doug did come out early. He finally took it. What he did, he was able to collect every single name of the POWs that were in those prison camps and were able to bring those names out to let their loved ones know that we were alive and doing as well as we could. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going to go any further with that. Just talking too long. But anyway, God bless this flag. God bless America. And for those who are papas, happy Father's Day, like me tomorrow. Thank you. It's called neuropathy. Thank you. Rubber tire sandals do that to you.
Thank you very much, Wayne. I really appreciate it. Now, next on here is Corporal David Sharp, Jr., Collier County Sheriff's Office. He's going to give a few words as well about the American flag, what it means to him as being a U.S. Sheriff.
Morning, everyone. Forgive me, I'm not much of a public speaker. I usually just give orders to the public when they need help. I'm Corporal David Shar, Jr. with the Collier County Sheriff's Office. I've been asked to speak today as to what the flag means in reference to law enforcement, how we see it. In order to answer that, I have to go back in time a bit. I was 14 years old and awaiting to meet my JROTC instructor at Lely High School. He was a retired 82nd Airborne Ranger, first sergeant, who stormed into the room. He stood about 5'6", with red skin and bloodshot eyes. I cannot remember what he was saying due to the tunnel vision of fear I was experiencing. Throughout the next 4 years, he instructed through example why this country was so great. I owe a lot to that man. By the end of my senior year, I knew my calling was to serve. Being the only caregiver to a terminally ill mother, I wasn't able to serve as the veterans that sit before us today, which I am forever grateful. Thank you so much. I chose the next best thing, serve my community. As a first responder, I pursued law enforcement for a simple reason. I don't like bullies. I wanted people to feel safe when they walked down the street, driving wherever they needed to go, and fall asleep in their homes without a worry. For the last 15 years, I have served the citizens of Collier County. Every day I strap on my armor, holster my weapon, and kiss my girl, who's one of the Civil Air Patrol members there, goodbye, hoping to see her at the end of my shift. I wake the next day and do it again and again. I know of the potential danger and risk I take every day, and some days the risk causes officers to make the ultimate sacrifice. In my career, I have participated in 65 police officer funerals, line of duty deaths. At every funeral, it's a massive gathering of first responders. We come together from around this country under one flag. Today I can definitively say I know what the flag is for law enforcement. It's you. Every citizen of this country is represented by this flag. It is the ensign of a great people of this country. We hold it high, we wear it on our chest, we respect it. The flag is everyone here today, and it is why we officers do it again and again. We will always serve and protect it. Thank you.
Before I call the next person up here, I got something to say real quick here. The next person going to be speaking just got accepted to the United States Coast Guard, and she will be starting boot camp at KMA, New Jersey, very, very shortly. Is Second Lieutenant Chelsea Ferreira, I believe I had that right, Chelsea Ferreira, and she's also with the Civil Air Patrol. And if I could get her to come up and say a few words what the American flag means to her, because I will critique it.
Good morning. I am also not a public speaker, so forgive me. But I am Second Lieutenant Chelsea Ferreira with the Naval Squadron Civil Air Patrol. I volunteer in the Cadet Squadron, and what I do is volunteer. My service is dedicated to mentoring the cadets like you see behind me to become better citizens. They can start at the age of 12 and stay in the program until they are 18. The curriculum is Air Force based, from discipline of drill and ceremony to aerospace education and community service, just like this event here today. Throughout every event and meeting that we hold, our number one lesson to the cadets is respect. Respect for authority, respect for each other, and respect for themselves. As the cadets advance in the program, we watch them adopt these fundamentals and apply it seamlessly into their everyday lives. As a senior member, that is my reward. Outside of our hangar is our nation's flag, hoisted high. The flag means so much more than just a symbol of our country. The flag stands for the freedom to choose. For CAP, that means cadets freely choosing to participate in the program. Adult members, like myself, choosing to volunteer to guide and mentor these cadets. and members choosing to continue and pass on the program for new generations to come. The freedom to choose instilled in these young adults, coupled with the education, allows them to choose a future of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. In closing, if you were to ask any one of these cadets behind me what the flag means to them, you would receive a different answer from each one of them. But if you ask them what they feel, it would all be the same answer: proud. Thank you.
Critique.
Chelsea, I was only kidding. This chief's not going to critique you, all right? You'll wait till you get to boot camp. You'll get critiqued enough. The next one that we'd like to say a few words is Staff Sergeant Kenny Connolly, also with the Collier County JROTC program. I'd really appreciate if you could come up and give us a little on what you feel about the United States flag.
On June 14, 1777, the American flag was adopted as the official flag of the United States of America. Since then, our country has flown the flag as a symbol of triumph, freedom, resilience, and respect. From starting your day, each day in the classroom with the Pledge of Allegiance to lowering the flag during times of despair, our flag has not only been a symbol of our pride in being Americans, but it also tells a story about our country. Representing the 13 original colonies and the 50 states, our flag also represents valor, purity, and justice. Our flag is a reminder of the trials that have came before our time as a result and promise of a sound future when we can look back at our flag and fly it proudly. It is a symbol of pride in being an American. When I personally see our flag, I think of all of the places in time that our flags have flown. Through wars, moonwalks, parades, tragedies, and celebrations, our flag has been there through it all. When terrorists took aim on our country and carried out the mass murder on September 11, 2001, and the American flag was recovered almost completely intact on site. This was a gentle reminder to those who have tried to break us down that we cannot be broken, and a reminder that we will prevail. When I look at our flag, I don't just think of fireworks and an anthem. We think of the thousands of men and women who have sacrificed their lives to protect everything that our flag stands for. Remember how proud you are to be an American. I know every time I see our flag, I smile with gratitude for those before me that have been protecting it. And I smile for those after me who will continue it.
At this time, I'd like to call back up for the anthem, part 2, Alexis and the USA Freedom Kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to Chief Carl for always being here for us and doing an event like this on Flag Day. It really is very special, so thanks to all of you and thanks to Chief Carl. What we talk about a lot of times with the USA Freedom Kids, a lot of their songs, a lot of these events get serious. They get somber. We are a family. This is the American family. And it's important that we talk about a lot of the things we talk about. But it is also very important to have some fun. Families like to have fun. We are a family. We're going to have fun for a couple of minutes and then we can get back to the serious stuff. So, before we start, the girls insisted that you guys got to do a great USA chant. Every good celebration, and this is a celebration, has to have a USA chant. So let's go. I'll start this. You ready? Even you guys. Everybody. USA! 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 USA!
USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA!
Also, just to mention, we are involved in producing a television show. Later this year, fourth quarter, we'll be on TV on ABC called the All-American Freedom Awards. So we are even getting a little bit of video for that show. Some of you may even be in it, but it's going to be amazing. And we are going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate this country. We're going to celebrate this family. We're going to bring it together, and we're going to have an amazing time, which is what those guys fought for and what this flag represents. So, that said, girls,
USA! That's America, baby! There's no place better! So get on your feet! This is the freedom wave for you! And you and you and you! 4, 3, 2, 1, woo! What's so proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleaming. USA, we love you so. You're the land of the free, and the freedom way. Let's go, USA, USA. We love you so. We love you so. And the land of the free, because of the brave. USA, USA. We love you so. We love you so. We're the blue, and we proudly stand by you. USA! Freedom wave! Why? Because we can! Because we're free! Because we're American! Our stars and bright stars enjoy the times on the ramparts and walls, crystal gallantly streaming. USA, we love you so. You're the land for the free, we're the freedom way. Let's go, USA, USA. We'll never forget, never forget. We're the land of the free, because of the brave. And the rockets ride black. USA, USA, we love you so. We love you so. And the rockets blue, and we proudly stand by you. Our truth through the night, that our flag was streaming. Oh, hear that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah! America, baby!
really good. This isn't Memorial Day. This is National Flag Day. So what happened just then was amazing. I'm going to ask somebody if they could come up with me. Catherine Latimer, are you here? Can you come up here for a second, please? I can ask you to stand right here. I have something to read. It's very important that I do this. My operations officer is not with us here today, Jordan Tompkins. He wanted to make sure that I read this, and this happens. Catherine Latimer is founder and director of the Teddy Bears for the Troops, consistently goes above and beyond to serve our troops while deployed. Most recently, in the organization sent over 14 boxes to United States Air Force. Technical Sergeant William Toth and his unit actively deployed in Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan. During the Operation Freedom Sentinel Resolute support, Technical Staff Sergeant Roth is the F-16 crew chief. During their 6-month deployment, 2018-2019, their airfield was attacked over 25 times. Catherine's packages brought the squadron much joy and time that they needed it most. In appreciation, Technical Sergeant William Toth had the United States of America flag flown in one of the F-16s over Bagram Airfield and dedicated it to Catherine and her organization as a small token of appreciation. We would like to take this moment to present her and thank her with everything she does for the troops with the flag that was flown over Bagram, Afghanistan. Thank you. Let's get a picture of this. I also have something else going on right here. Don, if you could take a picture of this. The United States Air Force. This flag represents America and the American forces who have faithfully served in Afghanistan since September 2001. Our present mission is to establish, train, and advise to assist in the sustained Afghan security forces. This flag bears witness to our continuing efforts to destroy terrorist forces to ensure that Afghanistan is never again used as a stage of attacks against our homeland. This flag was flown over the skies of Afghanistan on a combat sortie aboard the F-16 Sea Viper, assigned to the 510th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, Bagram Airfield. Operation Freedom Sentinel Result Support, presented to Catherine Latimer, flown by Captain Patrick Slapshot Mayfield. Call sign Viper 21, aircraft 880709, flown on 13th March 2019, and thank you. She'd like to say a few words, so please do.
I can date my family's military history back to the Civil War. My great-great-uncle was Captain John S. Lockhart. My father was a Navy Seabee. My husband's father was in the Marine Corps and had not one but 2 Purple Hearts. My husband served in the Marine Corps, and our children have served in Marine Corps, Air Force, and Army. So for me to serve is just part of our history. It's who we are. So I'm here for the veterans. I'm here for the parents and the families of those who have children or spouses serving. So if there's something that I can do for you, I'm here. You just have to call. And if you can't know how to reach me, Chief Carl does. He's
And we're going to ask the Alexis and the USA Freedom Kids to come back up here and sing God Bless America.
Storm clouds gather, far across the sea. Let us swear allegiance to God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean, white with love. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Thank you.
Everybody can have a seat. I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker. It's Command Sergeant Major Reginald Birch, U.S. Army Special Forces, highly educated, experienced military and civilian leader who believes in God and country and teaches leadership is a service action, not position. His living motto is, if you try your best, you do your best. You are the best. He's a good friend of mine and part of the Veterans Council, and I'd like to welcome as a keynote speaker, Command Sergeant Major.
How do you make better than all that? Huh? It's impossible. Well, I have a little notebook here. As a good Command Sergeant Major, he's got all his ducks in order. My speech is going to be a little quick one for you. I know it's getting hot out here, but I'm really passionate about this. First of all, I want to say good morning to all the ladies and gentlemen and all the scouts out there and all my cadets. Appreciate you coming. I really, really am. I want to thank Chief Carl for giving me the honor of speaking today on the National Flag Day Remembrance Weekend. Today I will speak with you in the midst of the turmoil of standing for the national anthem and the many reasons why we stand for the flag. The following are my 5 reasons why Americans stand for the United States flag and the national anthem. My first reason, we stand for the flag today not to please ourselves, but to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. We stand because of the more than 1.2 million Americans who have died of war. We stand for soldiers who initially inspired the national anthem, such as William Williams, a runaway slave who died after having his leg blown off as part of the 38th United States Infantry at the Battle of Fort McHenry. I believe every one of us Americans, when the national anthem is played, should cover their hearts and think about all the men and women who have been maimed and killed. Every one of us Americans, every one of us, should stand and think for 3 lousy minutes as the national anthem is played. My second reason, we stand for the flag not to focus on our divided selves, but on what unites us, which is being an American. The name American, which belongs to every U.S. citizen, must always be pride of patriotism more than any tragedy derived from local discriminations, with slight shades of differences. you have the same religion, the same manners, the same habits, and same political principles as all U.S. citizens. The name American derives our highest respect and pride. Standing for the flag and the national anthem at a sports game or public gathering like we are right now symbolically shows that we are all what? Americans. No matter our race, religion, no matter our preferred sports team, and no matter our political differences. Standing is the ultimate salute to sportsmanship and the flag. My third reason, we stand for the flag not to pledge allegiance to a president, no, but to honor the reality that we have an elected president and not a lifetime king. By standing, we honor the fact that our country has had 45 presidents. Our flag reflects our system of government, divided by 50 states, but united under one federal government. My fourth reason, we stand not because of the past or the present pain caused by injustice, but to salute the principles of justice. Remember, justice is one of the three definitions of the color blue, which Congress gave us in 1782 for the colors of the flag of the United States of America, which are red, signifies hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue signifies diligence, perseverance, and justice. Patriotism is not pride in the pain of our nation's past. Rather, patriotism is pride in the principles which paved the way for change. And my fifth reason, we stand for the flag, not for our generation. We're old and long in the tooth. But to set an example for the next generation, like the Scouts, the cadets. Where are my cadets? I saw my cadets here. All right, there they are, the cadets. And you guys are the next generation. If we, as adults, do not advocate a love of country to our children and the generations to come, then why would our children grow up to fight for our country, the founding principles, and the moral truths? They would. Passing along patriotism is crucial to the future survival of America. The color of white in the flag symbolizes the purity and innocence of our children. When we stand for the flag and the national anthem, we are standing for our hopes, for our children's future, that they will embrace the principles of patriotism and live out its moral truth of justice, perseverance, and courage. We stand for the flag and the national anthem so they can stand for the flag and the national anthem. Audience, cadets, and scouts, we stand for the flag and the national anthem. We only kneel for the fallen. I hope my 5 short reasons why standing for the flag and not kneeling for the national anthem is precisely and effectively clear. points of view why I stand for the flag and the national anthem. Why? Because I am proud to be an American, and I hope you are too. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.
He actually sent that to me in an email a couple years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. And I said, today I want him to read it to the public. So that was excellent. At this time, we're going to do the reading of the 13 flag folds by Corporal Ted Moore, United States Marine Corps. There's a mother and son team, Corporal Jessica Lee Dang, and U.S. Army veteran. She is a U.S. Army veteran. And son, Gabriel Dang, with Frank Kerr, U.S. Army retired.
Tail. Hop. Ride. Haste. Center. Haste. Retrieve. Hold. Unfold. Put. Unfold. Do. Table. Colors. Reset. Colors. Table. Colors. Fold. Put. Fold. Two.
Meaning of the 13 folds of the American flag. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold symbolizes our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and tribute of the veterans departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace. The fourth fold exemplifies our weaker nature as citizens, trusting in God. It is to Him we turn for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is an acknowledgement to our country. For in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces.
for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies. The eightfold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor our mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninefold is an honor to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The tenfold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since he was first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of Hebrew citizens, represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David and King Solomon, and glorifies, in their eyes, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies, in their eyes, God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The last fold, the 13th fold, when the flag was completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." Thank you.
Present. Huh. Hold up. Huh. Wait. Color. Present. Huh. Hold up. Huh. Outward. Peace. Place. Colors. Present. Huh. Hold up. Huh. Left. Peace. Forward. Huh.
That was the best mother-son teamwork I've seen in a long, long time. Great job. I'm going to ask that Master Sergeant Major and Tori on up here. We're going to do the reading of the fallen soldier. The Fallen Soldier's Creed. Oh, don't wait for me in the land of the free. When it was the time for me to fall, it was my country's call. It was for the land that I love that I gave my all. The land